Every business wants to expand and grow their sales. For that to happen, you need to increase demand as well as close more deals. Marketing teams face many challenges when they try to increase demand. Challenges such as they don't have enough leads. Even if they do, the quality of leads is absolutely poor. There's no concept of lead nurturing because all they do is send irrelevant emails to their target audience. Marketers don't have visibility about sales activities or sales conversions. At the same time, the sales folks don't know what are the marketing interactions that the lead has engaged with during the sales cycle. They struggle to track and improve marketing ROI. These are the challenges marketers face when they try to increase demand. And businesses need better tools to align sales and marketing, because 57% of B2B purchase decisions are made before prospects speak to the salesperson. And about 49% of the sales representatives ignore more than half of the leads delivered by the marketing team. Only 8% of B2B organizations feels they have an aligned sales and marketing team. These are the challenges that limit them from increasing demand or closing more deals. Microsoft wants to enable every organization to drive digital transformation. Driving digital transformation requires business leaders to reimagine new ways to engage with customers, empower employees, optimize operations, and transform their products. Sales and marketing solutions are a key part of that to drive customer engagement. Microsoft Dynamics 365 is the next generation of intelligent business application. It has purpose-built applications that work seamlessly together to manage specific business processes across many functions in an organization. We are happy to let you know that Dynamics 365 for Marketing is available as part of Dynamics 365. For growing businesses seeking a marketing automation solution to manage their front end of sales cycle, Dynamics 365 for Marketing can help them turn their prospects into business relationships. It can help marketers nurture more sales-ready leads, align sales and marketing, make smarter decisions, and grow with an adaptable platform. Let's now watch a quick introduction video about Dynamics 365 for Marketing.
Dynamics 365 for Marketing helps you plan, automate, and monitor the full customer journey as prospects travel from discovery through nurturing and onward to become marketing qualified leads. You can run automated email campaigns, plan and promote sales events, create interactive online forms, generate and score leads, collaborate seamlessly with sales, and much more, all in one place. In this video, we'll observe the customer journey as seen by three personas: the marketer, the salesperson, and the customer. Let's start with the marketer. Marketers can quickly create captivating bulk emails with the Designer tool. They can drag content blocks from the toolbox, stylize content, add text, add graphics or images, merge fields, and more. The Designer provides a preview feature that lets marketers see how the message will look in different devices and orientations. The marketer sets up a customer journey by arranging tiles on the canvas to create a sequence of customer touchpoints and actions. She establishes who will receive the marketing communications, the content within each contact point, and when each message will go out. The marketer does one final check on the email before the journey goes live. Marketers can create lead scoring models that score each lead based on actions such as email opens, email clicks, event registrations, website visits, and more. When a lead reaches a sales-ready score, a salesperson can pick it up. Now let's experience the journey through the eyes of the customer. The customer receives an email offer to join an early access Xbox Live Creators program. She opens the email and clicks the registration link. The link takes her to a landing page that the marketer designed and published using Dynamics 365. The customer enrolls in the program by providing the necessary details and then waits for the next steps. Soon afterwards, she receives an email confirming that she has been set up for the program. The email also has helpful links to onboarding videos and some other related pages. Now, let's see the marketer's viewpoint of the customer journey so far. Here's the lead that's tracking the customer's interest in the Xbox Live Creators program. The marketer can see that her score has increased because she's opened the email, clicked a link, and submitted the registration form. We can also see that this customer spent time browsing our website, and that increased her score too. At the top of the lead, we can see that the lead is getting hot, so it's time for the marketer to send it to the salesperson for acceptance. Now, let's flip to the salesperson and learn how he views the customer's journey. The customer appears on his dashboard as a qualified lead that the salesperson can follow up with when the time is right. Dynamics 365 for Marketing helps you orchestrate interactive customer journeys that send the right messages at the right time and automatically nurture your best prospects. Then it closes the loop by forwarding qualified, information-rich leads directly to sales.
Hope you liked that video. Dynamics 365 for Marketing offers compelling capabilities. It can help marketers run multi-channel campaigns, not just with email marketing. They could also use inbound marketing with landing pages and forms. Marketers can also connect with leads using webinars, in-person events, or phone calls. You can bring in and nurture leads from LinkedIn into Dynamics 365 and nurture them with campaign setup that exists within Dynamics 365. This application offers modern and adaptable templates that can be used by marketers to quickly create stunning emails and landing pages. We also offer a buyer's journey designer that can help marketers to create a buyer's journey that will guide their buyers based on how buyers engage during their campaign, thereby making your company more relevant during each and every step. You could also use business process flows to streamline sales and marketing processes, such as handing off leads to sales, tracking sales activities, driving follow-ups, getting notifications, etc. The application offers embedded intelligence capabilities. You could set up rules to create dynamic segments to target the right audience for your campaigns. You could also set up multiple lead scoring models to prioritize leads who are ready to buy. You could also use interaction insights to understand how your buyer's journey is performing and improve the experience for your buyers. We also offer event management capabilities, which helps you run webinars with our native integration with On24. We also have an events portal that can help marketers run in-person events and manage activities like driving registrations, managing sessions, speakers, and venue logistics. We also offer insightful dashboards and interaction insights, which helps you track and improve marketing performance. Marketers can also run surveys to better understand their customers and come out with more compelling offers or improve the customer experience. As I said before, the application is very easy to use and configure because we offer modern templates and drag-and-drop design tools that are highly configurable. We also have Dynamics 365 partners who can help customers adopt this solution and extend the solution for their unique needs. Here is the unique value that Dynamics 365 for Marketing offers to our customers. Number one, this application is hosted on secure, trusted, and compliant Microsoft Azure Cloud. Sales and marketing enjoy a living relationship. Dynamics 365 for Marketing is built on the same customer engagement platform as Dynamics 365 for Sales. This helps align sales and marketing with common information about your contacts, leads, and customers, and connected business process to streamline your sales and marketing operations. Sales and marketing teams can collaborate with their colleagues and customers using Office 365 collaboration tools. We also have compelling capabilities like event management capabilities, ability to send surveys, ability to bring in and nurture leads from LinkedIn. We have better data management because we store and manage the contact data and interactions data separately. As I said before, the application is very easy to use and configure to make it work for your business, and partners can extend it easily to make it work for your unique needs. Now that you've seen high-level information about the marketing challenges faced by many growing businesses and received a high-level overview about Dynamics 365 for Marketing, Mauro will now show us some detailed demo about how to use this application for some common high-value scenarios for sales and marketing teams.
Okay, great. So now let's look at the product. And so the story here is about a growing B2B business that is making a launch of a new product and setting up an event. So the first step for us is to set up a digital marketing automation. So in our system, we call them customer journeys. So let's go and create a new customer journey. So I go here in the navigation. You can see, by the way, on the background, our new dashboards for Dynamics CRM V9. So I go here and I create a new customer journey. So our application is built for business users and provides out of the box the option to select templates. So I don't start from scratch, but I can use a ready-made template for my automation. So let's go with the high-touch marketing. These are the templates that are coming out of the box, but you can create your own templates or change these ones the way you want it. So here is our automation editor. So here, as a marketer, without the need of any coding, I'm able to set up very complex and powerful digital marketing automation campaigns. So in this particular case, I'm having a segment of customers, and I'll invite them through an email to our launch event, and then I'll be waiting for people that register or not. This is going to be basically the setup of the journey we are going to build together. Before I get into the details of setting up this journey, let's look at all the capabilities that the tool provides out of the box. So the tool is very powerful in the sense that it's integrated tightly with Dynamics CRM. So you're able to, for example, launch workflows or even create CRM activities like phone calls or set a task to a contact and so forth. And more importantly, the set of channels we provide out of the box, which is email marketing, marketing pages, so basically web pages based on our portals, and events and surveys as well, can be augmented. You can extend the system by providing your own custom tiles. You can build even push notifications or SMS and so forth, all available out of the box. And we already have our partners building extensions that you can go and purchase on AppSource. So this also works as a platform that can be extended by you and of course our partners as well. So here is basically the overview of our customer journey editor. Now let's start from the very first step, which is the creation of a segment. In our new application, we can use marketing list, which is an existing concept and entity in CRM, but now we also introduce a new entity called the segment, because we have built a powerful customer insights cloud where you can store not only the CRM data, but also the data from other external systems. So that's quite important because every interaction we generate out of the system, it does not get stored into the CRM database, but stored in this separate cloud. So you can scale to very large volumes, and you can track very high performance and with a very specific and powerful personalization capabilities, a wide range of different scenarios at once. So let's now start from creating a segment. So I go here and just go and create a segment just to show you how easy it is to create a segment. So for example, we can get started from, let's call it, just to give you an idea of all the things you can do, you are able, for example, to set demographic queries. So you can, for example, define all the contacts that are coming from a specific country. So here is, and for example, all the contacts there in the database, they come from the USA. Then we can add more clauses. We can even add interactions coming from the system or even external data from other external entities because it's all based on this customer insights cloud we have. So Dynamics CRM data is only a part of the bigger picture. But more interesting than providing interactions and demographic data and so forth is also the ability to explore the data you have available with this Explorer tool. So you're able basically to see all the relationship you have set up. And you can customize entirely this system. So you can add a custom relationship, a new entity, custom entities and fields. And all of this will show up here. Will show up for your segmentation capabilities, but also for lead scoring, as we see later in the demo, and even in your dynamic content for your email marketing communications. So it's quite powerful and extensible. So, for example, now from the content, I can navigate to the account or the marketing list and so forth, and I can add more and more custom relationship and entities. So it's a quite extensible system, and it works at very large volumes anyway. So you don't have to worry about the size of your database because all this data is stored in our external customer insights cloud. So that concludes our brief demo about segmentation. So now we have seen how the customer journey works, so the main canvas, how we can automate our digital marketing operations. We've seen now how to set up easily, without the need of any coding, powerful segmentation queries and set of customers we want to contact. Now it's the turn to set up the content. So let's start from creating an email. We're going to see the basic content here is going to be about the creation of email marketing messages, the creation of marketing pages and forms, and then the other channels as well I'll briefly touch upon. So let's go and create an email. So as a marketer, again, I'm shown, as we've seen before, a set of templates. On the email marketing side, we have built 54 email marketing templates. And these templates are ranging from all sorts of wide reach capabilities. They are adaptive, and they've been designed by professional agencies. So it's been a big investment for us. All these templates are available for you out of the box. If you don't like them, you can delete them all. You can change them. They are for you to use. They are targeting 90 different email clients and devices. So it's a big investment we've done here, and it's quite powerful in terms of the capabilities. So let's pick one of the templates here. And so you see now our new editor experience. This editor actually is now shared across all the different channels in CRM. So not only email marketing or marketing forms and marketing pages, but also in knowledge-based article, for example. So soon you will be able to share content across all these different channels. So this is the business editor view. So here as a business user, I don't need to know any coding or any special HTML knowledge, and I can create very sophisticated marketing emails. Not only I can change the content here and so forth, but I can even enter data coming from my CRM database. For example, I want to say hello with the name of the person, I'm the recipient of my email. So that's very easy because I can go here, very similar to what we've done for our segmentation, and I can get the data out of our customer insights. This could be data coming from other sources as well. And we can traverse relationship, customer entries, and so it's quite flexible. So now we have set up our nice email. You see the system is already configured out of the box. I can drop in more objects if I want to, pictures or button, call to actions and so forth. I can easily change the styles very easily, so the branding is a breeze, and I don't need to know anything about HTML again, unless I need to. So the system is quite flexible. It allows to be locked down in a very simple way for business users, but it can be quite powerful for power users and, for example, agencies or partners. So you can get, if you have enough permissions in your, for your user, you can get to the HTML and you can change this content in any way. So we actually build a very powerful content framework. So the editor is able to edit any possible type of HTML, so which is quite impressive for the email marketing space as well. And this will work also across, also is going to work the same concepts for marketing pages and forms. So you paste in any HTML, and then if you decorate the HTML with our special tags, then you can have more sophisticated capabilities for the business user. Otherwise, you can still use it right away. So there is no need of importing, no need to do special coding or anything. You can use any HTML and use our dynamic content on it. On top of that, let me go and show you also our preview capabilities. So you can preview your email in two ways. One is the basic preview, which is basically changing the size of the screen. So here is how my email will look like on a small mobile phone, for example. But then we can have also what we call the inbox preview, which is powered by Litmus, which is a company we have been partnered with. So you are allowed to get a certain number of credits every month for free because of your subscription with us. And then when you finish those credits, you can basically go and directly log into Litmus and provide more, capabilities. So you're able to do your testing of your marketing emails without the need of leaving the product. So it's quite powerful. You can see, for example, here that the system is personalized. So I'm going to see the email as, for example, this user here, Veronica. But if I go and change the content, I can go and see how the email will look like for Abby, for example, and so forth. So it's quite powerful and very flexible at the same time. So we have now touched very briefly the design experience of marketing emails. Before I move on to marketing pages, I want to touch briefly here, so we have built our application in kind of a flexible way. So it can be used at the same time by the business user. So you can see here the UI is very simple. You are able to send an email with all the compliance legal requirements built into the platform. So you are not able to, let's say, send something illegal or depending on the jurisdiction. Our solution will help you meet your GDPR requirements. But at the same time, the system is also very flexible and powerful. So if you have enough permissions, again, you can go and control entirely, for example, in this case, all the headers of an email. So this is quite powerful as well. Very few other products allow such a level of flexibility. You can even control even the email address you are using for sending your emails. So this is quite flexible. So you can have here code that basically checks if the contact recipient email address 1 is empty, you can use another email address and so forth. So that's just quite flexible, and you can set up the reply to and so on. These are more advanced scenarios. So if you want, as a administrator, you can lock down these experiences so that your customer only see the very simple drag and drop editor we've seen before. So this one completes our overview of marketing emails. Let's briefly touch on marketing pages. So marketing pages are built on top of our portals, so they're available out of the box. And you can see here as well the very similar interface where you can go, for example, and define your initial template, and then you can go and configure it with easy drag and drop. Marketing pages are, of course, more powerful than emails, so you can have JavaScript code. You can embed the forms as well without the need of any coding in a third-party website. You can even host our tracking code on any other website, so you can track and store all the interaction to our system, so you can power lead scoring, segmentation, and so forth out of any other website. So you're not limited in any way to our out-of-the-box marketing pages. So let's go here, for example, and pick a nice form. We have created this in advance, and as well as we have done before, I can go here, publish this page, and basically see my marketing page out there. So I can start capturing my leads, and then I can score my leads or nurturing them. And this will be the topic of our next demo. Before we get there, though, I want to close this first set of demos talking about a very important channel for us, which is the event. So we are able to create physical and web virtual events. So we have a full-fledged eventing solution in the system, which is quite powerful, actually. So I'm going to start from showing you a very simple event. So let's start from a webinar. So the webinar, as Ananta mentioned before, we are partnering with a company called On24 for providing out-of-the-box webinar capabilities. But you are not limited in any way to that provider, because you can build your own extensions and integrate with any other webinar provider. We have on the roadmap to provide more webinar providers as well. So here is our event. You can see here on the top the business process flow, which is very important because this is how you define in your company the business process and how the event is set up. So for this very simple event, we have just set up a webinar and basically a given amount of time, and we have defined very few properties on the event. So it's quite simple to set them up and use them in your customer automation journeys. If you want to use this eventing solution standalone, you can also do so. You don't need to use our customer automation capabilities. So this is a very simple event, but let's now look at what kind of events you can do with this solution. So let's go now to a full-fledged complex event. This is quite a complex event. Maybe many customers will not need to go so deep into creating such a sophisticated, this is kind of a conference on its own. So as a CRM user, I set up the venues, I set up all the start date and end date. I even have the page where the portal where people can register to this event, and we're going to see the portal in a second. But then I have an agenda with a set of sessions, so many sessions. We have so many sessions that we need to create tracks to organize them all. So the system is quite powerful and flexible. Probably many customers don't need such a level of complexity, but the complexity is there. If you need to use it, you can use it, or you can hide it entirely. So the whole system is fully customizable to your needs. So we have speakers, for example, engagements, even sponsors, and so forth. Very important, we also have a financial aspect. So you can budget your events. You can see how the return on investment pans out at the end of the event. You can send out post-survey events. You can even have wait listing. So you can have people waiting when you reach the capacity and so forth. So it's quite powerful and sophisticated solution. Let's have a look now at the portal. So this is how this particular event here will look like to your customers. So you go there, and this is a public, but it can be configured completely, so it can be behind a sign-in page, for example. So people can go here, register. These are all the spots. All this data is coming from our CRM portal. So you can reuse this template here for your portals as well. It will work out of the box. So you can go to the sessions, of course, see all the calendar of the sessions, register to the sessions, and so forth, if there is capacity. And so this is a standard out-of-the-box capabilities that can be used from a very simple, very basic event, like 1 hour event or a webinar, for example, to some middle sophisticated, to something very complex like this one. And you can even extend it even more, depending on your needs. So we've seen now how we're able to basically create multi-channel campaigns without the need of coding or sophisticated skills. So we're able to touch different channels out of the box, email marketing, marketing pages, forms, surveys, events, webinars, and even custom channels. So you can add any other channel you might want. So now we've seen how to generate leads through our multi-channel campaigns. Now let's look at how to nurture them. So let's have a look at one of the leads in our database. Again, to highlight the point that Ananta made before, these leads are living in the same database as sales and service. So now we have a single database and a single platform where you can nurture your leads from the marketing efforts into sales and to close the deal and qualify them. So let's have a look now at a particular lead in our database. So we can see that it's a pretty straightforward lead, but we see here the multiple scores. We set up multiple lead scoring model, and this lead has been scored automatically by our system based on these models. Let's have a look, for example, at this email sent score. So here, by drilling into it, we can go into the lead model UI, where we can see how the model has been built. So this particular lead got 34 points. We can go here, for example, and see the particular rules that generated these points. The system is quite powerful and can set up quite sophisticated lead scoring rules. In this particular case, if we send them an email, we're going to give them these particular points. So let's now just have a look at how to create a lead scoring model. So I create a new model from scratch. So I go there, and as we've seen before, I can drag and drop. It's very similar to what we've done for the customer journeys, and define conditions. The system is actually quite powerful because it's based on our Customer Insights Cloud and is able to nurture basically and trigger a lot of different entities into our system and events. So we can, for example, score against the behavioral data. So how many times and how a user has clicked on a particular lead, has clicked on an email or opened a website, even a third-party website, and so forth. Or we can just do demographic data and so forth. So it's quite powerful and very simple to use at the same time. So for example, the scores, then I can go here and set an action, which will be adding, for example, a score of 10 points if the user is coming from a particular city. So it's very simple. I define this, and I can even show this in a textual way. So it's quite simple to see very sophisticated lead scoring models. And I can define multiple lead scoring models. So as we have seen before, I can see the different dimensions. So I can track against demographic, behavioral, and so forth. So it's quite flexible and yet simple to use. So now we've touched the creation of lead scoring models. We've seen how they work. Let us touch base on the lead 360 view. So how we can see this nurturing of the lead across even sales or other type of users in our system. So let's go back to our lead. And let's open the Insights form. So this form is available to anyone in our company, not just the marketing department. Creating leads and lead scoring models is something that marketers typically do with the help of other, of course, stakeholders. But now the data you capture out of the marketing initiatives can be shown to everybody else, sales and other users in the company. For example, here I see the lead insights for this lead, all the KPIs, and more importantly, the touch points. So we can see, for example, I'm somebody in sales or service, I can easily see the story of this lead by see all the touch points, the email that he opened, when we send them, and so forth. So very simple and quite powerful. Also see the progression of the different score over time and all the interaction breakdown and interaction points. So it's quite simple yet powerful. And this way I can have all the different silos we used to have in a company just collapse, because now I have all the data at my disposal if I'm in sales or service or even in marketing. So this is quite powerful and it's completely flexible and extensible to our business process technology. So last point I want to touch is about LinkedIn. So let's have a look at a LinkedIn integration here. So as Ananta mentioned before, we are able to ingest basically leads out of lead gen forms out of LinkedIn. So let's go to the LinkedIn form submissions. And here, I'm able to see all the leads that I've been basically importing out of LinkedIn, and I can see basically the results, and I can see all the details of this. Once the leads are important into our system, of course, we can score them, we can qualify them, and manage them as with any other lead in the system. So it's quite flexible and powerful. So let's have a look at one of these leads. They're coming from LinkedIn, and let's look at the details of the data coming from LinkedIn as well. You can see here the business process flow, which I mentioned before, is the ability we have to provide basically the flexibility to nurture the entire sales pipeline and configure it to your needs. So by configuring the business process flow on top here, you are able to define the funnel, basically the sales pipeline across sales marketing. So let's have a look at LinkedIn information, for example. And here, we can see all the forms that have been submitted by this particular lead, and we can go and see all the details coming from LinkedIn. So this is quite powerful, and at the same time flexible, because then we can reuse all the lead scoring model on the business process we have in place to also use the leads coming from LinkedIn. We have nurtured this lead to a sales-ready state, and now in the sales application, a salesperson can go and see all the details about this lead and be able to close the deal. So we've seen how to create multi-channel campaigns. So generate leads, then nurture them. And now finally, we can see how the whole thing looks like. And more importantly, how a marketer can make sense and make smarter decisions based on our embedded insights. So let's start to go, let's get back to the full journey we have built. So let's go to the customer journey. And as you remember, we wanted to create the event invitation and a launch for the new product. So let's go and check out our final automation we've built. And now we want to see basically the results. So as a marketer, I want to see what happened to this automation I set up and I launched over time. So we started from our customers, we created a segment for them, then we created an email for them, we send them an invitation, then we have what we call a trigger, which is a condition. So it is telling us, all the people that registered for the event, we wait until the event happens, and then we basically have them join the event and send a thank you email to those that really attended the event. All the others, then we will send them a reminder email. So that was our journey we set together. Now let's see the results of this journey. So we have our embedded insights where we can go and see how this whole automation worked out for our particular launch. So you can see the UI is very similar, but now it's showing embedded results, so analytics. So it's very easy for me as a marketer to understand that my B2B campaign has generated all this particular segment of contacts, and we send them these emails. And out of the emails, we had 18 invites sent. And out of these invites, basically, we had 18 reminders and so forth. So it's quite simple to go and see what happened to my journey so that I can arrange and change my course if I need to. More importantly, I can go and see the actual details on every single step in my automation. So let's have a look now at our email marketing message. So we sent out this message, and for people familiar with email marketing, you see here all the traditional KPIs for email marketing. So click-through rate, unsubscribed, opens, unique clicks, and so forth. All of this is available out of the box from the system. And I can see the responses over time and many other KPIs. More interesting, I can also see the geographical results. So I can see from where people clicked on my email, opened my email, and so forth. So it's quite simple to go and have a very detailed overview of what happened. More importantly, as a marketer that is working on email, I have very tight control over the delivery of my campaigns, because in this case, we had a very simple B2B event, but in general, you can have millions of emails sent over time. So you want to be very careful about the delivery of your campaign. So let's have a look at this particular UI here that shows us basically all the details about the sending of a marketing message. This is very important to our marketers. So we can see all the messages that have been blocked, for example, due to some GDPR consent setup, or based on hard bounces in this particular case, and so forth. So you have full control, and you can see actually all the contacts that have been impacted by it. So you have a full control as a marketer of your marketing initiatives. So, and more importantly, it's also easy to use because you don't see the results like in a abstract report, but they're embedded into, for example, the visualization. Here you can see a heat map about the clicks on this particular email. This is very important for marketers because they don't need to go and study, some tabular data or some reports. It's all embedded within the content, and in this particular case, in the clicks that has been performed on the email message. Lastly, we can go into the interactions and look at the very details of everything that has happened on this particular email. So this is kind of very powerful, but at the same time easy to use for our marketing customers. So let me finish touching a very important point, which is the ability of having the same data and the same level of detail also available outside of the marketing application. So let's look at this contact now into our system. And similarly to what we've seen for the lead, we also have a contact 360 view. So we can go and see the details of the contact also available to, for example, somebody in service or somebody in sales. So I can have an overview of all the interactions that have happened to my contact over time and on different channels and from different initiatives. So this is quite powerful and easy to use because it's all based on the same database. For example, here we have all the touch points for our contacts, so the email we sent to them because she was part of our campaigns, and the registration to the events and so forth. And at the same time, we can also look at the interaction breakdown of all the interactions that have happened there. I can even drill into the details of all the emails we've sent them, the events she joined, the forms she entered, and so forth. So it's quite powerful and yet simple to use. So we have seen how dashboards and embedded insights help marketers make smarter decisions. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Mauro. That was a fantastic demo. As I said before, Dynamics 365 for Marketing is available in select countries and languages. We now encourage you to visit our webpage to learn more about this application and try this application. If you want to talk to a Microsoft expert or a local Dynamics 365 partner, please contact us. Thank you for your time and interest today. We want to enable every business to drive customer engagement and achieve their business ambitions. Dynamics 365 for Marketing can help you turn prospects into business relationships. Thank you so much.